This is the video tutorial for the Happy Days CODIE crayon bag. It holds a colouring book and 12 crayons. And this is how we make it. You'll need fabric for the outer and handles and some contrasting fabric for the pocket and the lining. We'll start by making the bag handles. I've already made my handles and this is how I made them. I'm using a sample piece so it's a lot clearer on camera. Place your fabric right sides down, so pretty sides down, and fold in half lengthways and take it over to your iron and press. Then open out and using this nice crease line, place this edge on this crease line. And once again, press. Now place this edge in the centre. And once again, take it over to your iron and press. Finally, fold everything over, press and add a few clips. I've added a few clips. Now I'm going to take it over to the sewing machine and sew fairly close to the edge, a scant 1/4 inch all the way down one side and then along the folded edge. And stop. I've sewn along each of the edges and that's my sample handle piece all finished. You of course will be making them this length. We're now making the pocket. Place your pocket fabric pretty sides down and fold in half. Line up all the sides and edges, take it over to your iron and press. I've pressed it and now I'm going to fold it once again in half, and this is to find the centre, and once again I'm going to press. Using this centre crease line and a heat-erasable pen and a ruler, draw your first line all the way down. Measure 3 centimetres from this line and draw another line. That's my first line drawn, and now I'm going to carry on every 3 centimetres drawing a line all the way down. I've drawn my lines and you'll notice that this last line seems quite a long way from the edge, and this is deliberate because the edge of this will be taken up with the seam allowance. I'm now going to do exactly the same for the other side. I've carried on drawing my lines this side, and once again you'll notice that this is a little bit wider and this is exactly the same, so we can take that room up with the seam allowance. We're now going to add the pocket. Place your main fabric piece right sides up. If you're using directional fabric, this is the top of your bag and this will be the bottom. Place your pocket that you've just drawn the lines on top, so the open raw edge is at the bottom and the folded edge is at the top. Line everything up and add a few clips along this side and a few at the bottom. I've added lots of clips and now I'm going to tack quite close to the edge. These are just tacking stitches all the way down this side, along the bottom and back up. You won't see these stitches in the final make. It's worth as well adding just a few pins just to keep it still while you're sewing. I've tacked the pocket into place and now I'm going to sew along the lines I drew. I've sewn down each of my lines. I've used red cotton so it shows up for you. And now I'm going to attach the handles. Measure 7 centimetres from this edge and make a mark. I'm using a pin because my fabric is far too dark for my marker. And then do exactly the same for this side. Take your ruler and measure 7 centimetres and add a mark or a pin. Place your handle with the folded edge alongside the pin or the mark you made. Make sure it lines up with the top edge and it's facing downwards as mine is, and then add a clip. Now do the other side and place the folded edge against the pin or the mark you made. Line up the top raw edges, and as we did the other side, add a clip. Make sure your handle's not twisted at this stage as well. I'm now going to take it over the sewing machine and tack the strap into place. So fairly close to the edge because we won't be seeing these in the final make. Across that top and across there. I've tacked my handle into place on this side, and now I'm going to take my other piece of fabric, the back piece, and add my strap onto that one. I've measured 7 centimetres from the edge and added my strap this side, and I've done the same for this side, ensuring that this is the folded edge. And as I did before, I'm going to tack close to the edge the strap into place. I've tacked my handle into place, and now we're going to join the back to the front. Make sure that your handles are parallel to the edge and add a pin to stop them moving. Now take your back piece and place it carefully on top. Line up the bottom edge and the sides. It's a bit fiddly because you've got your handles in the middle. But take your time with it and then add lots of clips all the way around. I've added my clips all the way around, and now I'm going to take it over the sewing machine and using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, starting on one side, sew to the bottom and stop, all the way across the bottom and stop, and then back up the other side and stop. I've sewn all the way round using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and I've also snipped carefully each of the corners, and I'm now going to turn the bag the right way out. I've turned it the right way out and I've pushed out the corners, and I'm now going to put this to one side while I work on the lining. I'm now working on the lining. Place your two lining fabrics right sides together, line up all the sides and the bottom edges, and then add some clips. I've added my clips and my gap sign, and I'm going to start sewing using a 1/4 inch seam allowance at this side, and sew all the way down, stop, to the gap sign and stop, start again here and stop, and back up to the top and stop. I've sewn all the way down, remembering to leave a gap, and I'm going to be leaving the lining the wrong way out. Now we're going to join everything together. Fold your bag in half and place it inside the lining that you've just made. Then open out and line up the side seams and the top. Make sure that your handles are tucked inside as well, and then add lots of clips all the way around. I've turned the bag around so you can see more clearly. I've lined up my top edge, made sure that the side seams match up, and I've added lots of clips. I'm now going to take it over to the sewing machine and join everything together. So using 1/4 inch seam allowance, sew all the way around the top of the bag, joining the lining to the outer. Sew all the way around, joining the outer to the lining, and now I'm going to turn it the right way out through the lining gap at the bottom. I've turned it the right way out, and next I need to fold in the raw edges of the gap and sew along the edge. I've sewn up the gap in the lining and pushed it inside, and I've also pressed it. The last bit of sewing is to top stitch carefully all the way around the top. And that's your CODIE crayon bag all finished.